Hi, in today's video I've got another Milwaukee radio that I'm looking at. I've disassembled it down to the point where you can get to the circuit board. If you want to know how to do that, if you check out my other video on repairing a Milwaukee radio, you'll see how to do that. This radio has got a similar fault as the last one, but it's also got a slightly different fault as well. If you've got it running on battery, it just doesn't do anything. If you plug it on mains, I'll just plug the mains lead in now, it lights up, but when you turn the volume up, if I just turn it on there, it comes up, you know, sort of with the menu. And if you try and turn the volume up, it just crashes like the last one used to as well. Now, I don't think it's the circuit board on this radio, and the reason is, when I was repairing the last radio, I tried this circuit board in it and it worked perfect. So I think the problem on this one is something to do with the power supply area down here. So I'll just disconnect this for now, and I think we'll have a look at the power supply. Right, I've got the meter set up, and on the last radio, this chip here was getting 19 volts instead of the 9 volts. So if I just measure, let's get a ground here and measure the first pin on this chip, which is the supply voltage, we're actually getting nothing. So obviously when the processor chip's trying to communicate with the audio processor, it's not getting a response and the chip's crashing. I mean, if I check a bit further back from here to this pin here, we've still got 0 volts. And if I check, I think it was this one here, which is the supply voltage, we're only getting 1.8 volts, which again leads us back to the power supply down here. So I'm going to disconnect the board and I'm going to start pulling out the power supply board, and we'll do some checks on that next. Now, what I have noticed with this one is there's a relay on the board, and on the other one, when you turned the power on, the relay would go click and it would send power to the rest of it. Now, if I turn this one on, the relay is not going click and it's not kicking the transformer in. So that's why we're not getting the power there. But one of the things I have noticed as well, if I measure the line to the enable of this little circuit here, we should have 3 volts there when the power's turned on. That comes from the microcontroller. I'm not actually getting anything at the moment. No, nothing. So I wonder if something's pulling that line down somewhere else, or if there's a fault on the power supply board. It's a bit of a strange one so far. What I've found out so far is the this enable line that enables this part of the circuit. It goes to the microcontroller. Let's put that on. Beep. It comes in on that pin there, which is about the 5th pin down. And from there, it goes to the power supply on that pin there to enable the power supply. Now, it goes through a little resistor and then it goes to this transistor here. So, I'm just wondering if that transistor may have gone a bit faulty and it's pulling the line down on the CPU. So I think we'll take that transistor out and see if we can find a replacement for it. Alright then. Right, so I've done a bit tracing on the power supply with the multimeter, and like I say, the power on signal comes from the microcontroller. I think it's on about pin 5, and then it goes to the ribbon cable here on pin 1, and then from pin 1 it goes down here to, and get the I'll get it on there. There we go, to this pin here. Now when I've had a look at the circuit, it comes from this pin, it goes through a little resistor and then goes to a transistor here. So what I've done is, I suspect this transistor, so I didn't have the exact transistor that was in it. I think it was a, in fact I'll just tell you what number it was. The original is a S8050. So I did a search online, and apparently an equivalent is a BC547, I think it was, which I didn't have one of those either, but I did manage to find a BC337. Now the pin out of it's slightly different, so I've had to put it in facing the opposite way around, but we'll give this a whirl and see if this works. So like I say, it wasn't actually switching the relay on, and it seemed to be sort of back feeding and pulling the power line down, so I sort of suspect that transistor. So we'll just couple this power supply back up. I'll just put this on here and connect, check it's unplugged first, and then we'll put the transformer back on, which is that one there. Right, and we'll power on. Okay, so that's powered off. The transformer isn't buzzing. When I power on, I can hear the relay go click and the transformer's buzzing. And when I turn the volume meter's going and it's not crashing. So I think that's what's been the problem. What we'll do is we'll just check on this volume IC, just check that we've got the correct voltage on there now. Meter on volts DC, yeah, and we'll just go and do, yeah, 7.93, and on this pin it should be about 9 or so, yeah, 9.25. So yeah, I think we're good to go on this one now. Yeah, seems to be clicking every time when I switch it on, so, and it's not crashing now. So what I'll do, I'll reassemble it, and then once I've reassembled it all, we'll do another quick test and I'll continue the video from there. Right, I have the radio all assembled again now. Still got the label on the top there saying non-working, lights up on mains, no sound. And that's working on battery. I'll just pull the battery out. Unfortunately I don't get any radio reception in this room, so the only thing I'm going to get is white noise out of it in here. I'll switch it on to mains. And there we go, that's it working on mains now. So yeah, another successful repair. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it, please subscribe. If you have any comments, please leave them in the comment section below. And thanks again for watching and have a great day. Thanks again now.